All right, we are going to set up Lightburn first in order to, so you open Lightburn, and when you, first time you open it, you're going to see your device list is blank. So we need to create a laser. So we have a Boss Laser 1420. So we're going to create 20, and it says pick your laser or controller from this list. You're going to find Ruida, and press OK, and we're going to do a serial USB. Press next. I'm just going to change the name to Boss Laser. And then our X axis, it's a 14, so it's 14 by 20. So our X axis is 20 inches. So I'm just going to open up internet here, and for 20 inches to millimeters, 508. And then for our Y axis, it's 14 inches. So it's 355. I'm just going to have 355. Press next. Our origin is the rear right. Press next and press finish. So now we can select our Boss Laser and press OK. So our first project we're going to create is a pencil. We're going to engrave a pencil with a saying or your name, however you wish. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make a jig for our pencil. We don't want our pencil just sitting there flat. It'll roll around, move on us. So we need to make a jig to hold it. To make that jig, we are going to, let's see if I can find what it looks like. We're going to use something very similar to this design right here. So it holds the pencil in place so that we can laser it. So to do that, I'm just going to start with a simple rectangle. And so that's the rectangle option over here. And then I'm in millimeters, and I want to change that. So I think I'm going to go right there, press inches, and I'll go to inches. And a pencil is roughly 7.5 inches. So I'm going to make my jig, we'll make it 8 inches. So if I change my width here to 8, it's going to automatically change my height right now. I have this lock. If I click that lock, it unlocks it. Now I can change my height. If I'm going to do 4 pencils at a time, I'm going to make it, we're going to go 3.5 inches, 3.5. So now you can see if I unlock it, I can change the height independently of the width. When it's locked, it's going to keep the ratio. So sometimes that's nice to keep the ratio. Other times you might want to just switch one to the other. All right, so there is the outline of my jig. And then I need to create individual rectangles for each pencil. And I'm going to make them about 7.5 inches long. And each pencil, if I take a ruler and measure it, is roughly probably a 1/4 inch. Let me double check this here. Yeah, 1/4 inch. So I'm going to make a little rectangle down here. I'm in the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to change this to 7 by 0.25. Oh, I've got the blocks. I switched that. So 7 by 0.25. There's my rectangle. And I'm going to do 4 at a time. So I'm going to do 4. I'm going to just copy and paste this. 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to select all these. I'm going to press escape to get out of my rectangle tool. I'll keep making rectangles. And I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to center them. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. I like that. And then I'm going to position these so that they're even away from each other. I'm pretty close here. All right, so let's see here. And that doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want them lined up just for the look of that. Again, I made another rectangle. Press escape to get out of that. And I'm going to come up here and line it center. Okay. Raise this up a little bit. I'm going to use some text here, and I'm going to name this my pencil engraving jig. That's way too big. What I want So I'm going to make this smaller, press escape a couple times, and now I can see I can move this to where I want. And I'm going to make my jig a little smaller. So I'm going to change my height to 3. Kind of position it where I want. I'm going to select all now. I'm going to do that center again. If I center this way, it does this. But I want to center it from left to right. Okay, so now my idea then is I'm going to use this jig. I'm going to cut this out with the laser. It's going to be made out of 1/4-inch plywood, so it'll cut the outside of it around. And then I want that laser to cut out all these inside portions, and that's where I'm going to fit my pencil in there. When I have it engraved this, I don't want to cut those letters out, so I'm going to engrave that at a much different power, so that it doesn't cut those out and just engraves text into it. So over here, you can see down here are my different layers. Everything right now is on layer 0, 0, which is good. I want all these on layer 0, 0, but I want the pencil engraving jig, the text to be on a different layer. So I'm just going to switch to layer 1. So now you can see it changes the color, it shows it's on a different layer. Over here, I have line mode on I can do fill mode. I think I'm going to do fill mode, and that'll fill the text. So if I put on cut selected graphics, because I have this selected, I want that to cut. Here is my preview, and you see it's going to engrave, it's going to fill in those letters. If I choose line, it's going to do the outside of the letters. So in my case for this, because I want to fill it. And then these, I want lines. For these ones, they can say lines because I'm going to cut them out the first time. All right, so now how much power are we talking? So in order to find that, I'm going to go to bosslaser.com. And in that, I'm going to go to resources, and I'm going to find laser settings. I thought. Moved it on me. Manuals and guides. There used to be a settings button. They've switched it on me. Let's see if I can just click those off. Alright, it's laser settings, and I'm in wood. Birch plywood cutting. That downloaded now. Okay, so we have a 70 watt, 85% power, speed of 10, thickness of 1/4 inch it'll cut through. All right, so I'm going to change my power to 85%. So down here, I'm on my black layer, 0, 0. I'm going to change this to power of 85. And I want to change this to speed of 10. Now, if I just want to engrave, I can see I'm going to have a power of 30, a speed of 350. So for my fill, I just want that engraved. I'm going to change that to a speed of 350, a power of 30. I might do 35 just to have it a little darker. All right. So now if I cut that, that's going to be my jig. I'm going to save this to my OneDrive. File, save as, in my OneDrive, 3D machining, laser, pencil, jig. Now, when I put the pencil, I'm going to put it so it's facing that way, to the left, or to the right, doesn't matter, either one. You see in this design, they're all facing to the right, so you can see the text is going that way. So I'm going to have my text over here. Now, I have to keep in mind there's an eraser, and then there's kind of that gold green part of the pencil. There's the eraser and the green part of the pencil. So I want my text to start right here. Using my ruler that I have, I can see that the eraser and the green part take up, just under an inch. So I'm going to make sure my text, my eraser is going to go right here. The green part goes here. My text starts at an inch. So I'm going to make sure that my text starts 1 inch over. So I'm going to do this for a width of 1 inch. And then I'm going to move it. So it's right there. I'm going to copy and paste that down just so I know they're all. And you can see this is right now when I created this, I put it on my layer of the pencil engraving jig. What I'm going to do is switch this to layer 2, and this, I'm going to press Control and select them all. And switch them all to layer 2, and then I don't want that. I'm going to change the output. I want that off. Okay. So then I can put my text here. So I'm going to put my text but option, and I'm going to write this pencil belongs to Miss. This pencil was stolen from Mr. Monarchy. Alright, now I gotta make this way smaller. I'm gonna put this here. No, that's too small, so I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. And I can write in here if I can find if I need to find the right amount. That's a little too big yet. That's I like that. And I can change the font if I want to. And I'm gonna change this to layer 3 is what we're on. And I'm gonna have that on, okay? If I want them all to say the same thing. There, now when I put, and then I need to get my speed and power for the pencil for wood, which is kind of the same thing as the engraving. Now, if I want this to be a line or fill, let's see what that looks like if I fill. Like that. So I'm going to change this to a speed of 350 and a power of 30 for that layer. Now, when I go to put this in the laser, I need to put my origin of my jig right here. So I need, when I send this to the laser to be cut the pencil, when I cut the jig, I'll have this off and then just these 2 layers on. So it'll look like this to cut the jig. When I want the pencil engraved, I want this on, and I don't want to recut that jig. So everything's going to be shut off except for layer 3 here. But I want to include them all so I can get my origin, the top right, so that way it knows exactly where this text needs to be on that pencil. So I'm going to have them all off except for that text, and I can see my preview is right there, but it's located right here in that jig. So that's going to be how you set that up. And then I will demonstrate how to set up the laser.